Alright, we are here again, and my name still remains Alfred, and it is always about Jesus. Today, I want us to talk about a theme: the presence of God. The presence of God. As a child of God, one thing that should be your center focus is always being aligned with the principles of God and always with the presence of God. You see, the presence of God is something that without it you cannot make it. If only that you are a child of God and you want to excel in life, if you want to excel in ministry, if you want to excel in any other thing that you are doing, you need the presence of God, because the presence of God makes the difference. When you have the Spirit of God and when you have the presence of God, it makes you different from the other peoples. It makes you totally different. You see, when Moses had an encounter with God on the mountain, and then after he descended from the mountain, the Bible said that the people of Israel couldn't behold his face. Why? Because his face was shining like God, because he had an encounter with God. So it tells you that when you have an encounter with the presence of God, it changes your personality, it quickens your mortal being, and then it shapes you into another realm and then into another man. That should tell you that the presence of God is so precious and then important that you don't have to joke with. The presence of God, you don't have to joke with. Now I'm here to talk about 4 things that attracts the presence of God. There are more, but I just want us to talk about 4 things that attracts the presence of God. The first one that I'm talking about is holiness. Holiness. The Bible said that God is holy, and so therefore we must be holy. And because God is holy, we must worship him in truth and then in spirit. So if you want to attract the presence of God, you must be holy. It is not something that you have to try, it is a must. If only that you want to attract the presence of God, then you must be holy, because holiness attracts the presence of God. Holiness is the magnet that attracts the presence of God. So without holiness, you cannot communicate, you cannot dine with the spirit and the presence of God. So it is important for you to remain holy if you want to attract the presence of God. Holiness is a must. You just don't have to do anything that you want, anything that you wish, and you still want to attract the presence. No, it doesn't work that way. If you want to attract the presence of God, you must stay holy. That is the reason why the Spirit of God will give you a guideline for you to follow. The Spirit of God will give you a table for you to follow. The Spirit of God will give you a steps to follow. And if you are able to align to the things and the principles of the Spirit of God, there you can attract the presence. Because the presence of God cannot dwell in a filthy place. The Spirit of God dwells in a place that is holy and then peace. So if you want to attract the presence of God, then you must be holy. Hebrews chapter 12 verse 40. It is important for us to stay holy for God. It is very, very important. Now the second one that I'm talking about is unity. The book of Acts chapter 2 verse 1. It is important because when the disciples, the Bible said that they were united, they were together, they were waiting for the Spirit of God, but they were doing everything together. Unity. So one thing that attracts the presence of God is unity. So you are a church, you are a group, and you are a prayer team, you are calling for the presence of God, and then there is this unity among you, then the Spirit of God cannot, because the Spirit of God wants place or people that are unity. That is why the Bible said 2 cannot even work together unless they agree. There must be a unity. So if you want to attract the presence of God, there must be this unity among you. So when the disciples were waiting for the Spirit of God to descend, they were together, and immediately that their hearts were connected, the Bible said that the Spirit of God came upon them. We all know that there are people that they sat down and then they draw a plan that they want to build a temple. They want to start a building. Charlie, they didn't even do it though. But because of the unity, even God was afraid. So he has to come down and then bring something that will create something like this unity among them. So anytime that two people comes together, Charlie, there are a lot of things that they will be able to do because of that unity. So it is important for us to stay in unity if we want to call for the presence of God. Now the third one that I am talking about is prayer. In my lifetime, I have learned something, that the more you pray, the more you hate sin. I am repeating, per my experience, the more you pray, the more you hate sin. Because when you pray more, even when you are going to sin, you'll be like, what will happen after this? What if? That word, what if? So when you pray more, you sin less. But when you sin more, you pray less, because you are even afraid that your prayer won't be heard. So one thing that constantly bring or attracts the presence of God is prayer. It's prayer. That is the reason why the Bible said pray without ceasing. So anywhere you find yourself, pray. Whoever you are with, pray. Whatever you are holding, pray. It doesn't matter where you are. It doesn't matter or whatsoever. The Bible said pray. Because when you pray, God will deliver you from sin. God will deliver you from the things that you fear. So when you pray more, you sin less. When you sin more, you pray less. So it is important, very, very important, for you to pray more, because it helps you, and then it changes your spirit, and then it connects you to the presence of God. Now the fourth one that I am talking about, that is the last one, is a broken spirit. Psalm 34 verse 18. A broken spirit, a spirit that is broken, a heart that is broken. David sat down and said, oh God, renew my heart, change my heart. Indirectly, he was talking about the spirit, that God should rebuild a new spirit. God should renew his spirit. So a broken spirit attracts the presence of God. So if you want to go to God, or if you are praying for the presence of God to have more dominion over your life, you have to break your spirit. You have to break your heart. You have to break your spirit. Because a broken spirit, the Bible said, God doesn't reject. So if you want to attract the presence of God, you have to. It is a must. I was telling a friend that give your heart to God, he won't give you broken heart. Actually, if you give your heart to women, they will scatter. They will, in fact, they will misuse it. But when you give your heart to God, he will not break your heart. So if you want to attract the presence of God, go with a broken spirit, go with a broken heart, and God will not reject you. That is the reason why even after David has sinned, he will go to God, he will fall prostrate, and then he will be crying with a broken spirit and a broken heart. And then God will sit in his throne and he will be like, no, I can't reject this prayer, because he is praying from his inner man. When you go to God from your inner spirit and from your inner man, God will not reject you. These are the 4 keys that if you want to attract the presence of God, you must follow. There are more, but because of time, we are dealing with these 4 today. I am entreating you that align to these 4 stages, and if you are able to align to these 4, the presence of God will come. And when the Spirit of God or the presence of God comes and dwells within you, the impossible will become possible. And whatever that people were thinking that you won't be able to do, you'll do it. Their eyes will see it, and then they will join you, and you will testify to the glory of God. My name still remains Alfred, and it is always about Jesus. Today we were talking about the 4 things that attract the presence of God. Follow me on YouTube, Alfred Boa, TikTok, Alfred Boa, Facebook, Alfred Boa, and then when you go to Audio Mark 2, Alfred Boa, you get these audios there, and the Lord bless you. See you again in the next episode. Bye bye.